So this is one of the wokest things you will ever see. It's so woke that it's actually antediluvian, which is what ends up happening with most woke arguments if you follow them to the logical extension. This dude who now says he's a girl comes out and says this is a great moment for women because a woman, a.k.a. a man who wants to identify as a woman, is now going to own Miss Universe, which somehow empowers women. I will confess to something here, Buck. I kind of enjoy watching beauty pageants, especially the part of the beauty pageant where the beauty pageant contestants get asked questions and have to answer them, because it is the potential for pure gold is always out there. Now, Miss South Carolina, the greatest answer. The greatest
like they don't have maps like such as in the Iraq. Yes, I remember.
One of the greatest answers in a beauty pageant of all time. So Miss Universe happened over the weekend. I didn't watch because I was watching all the NFL games instead. I don't know why they would schedule, frankly, Miss Universe head-to-head against the NFL. This has been my issue for a while. They schedule, for instance, The Bachelor head-to-head against Monday Night Football, as if some of us don't want to watch both. I'm just tossing it out there. So I missed Miss Universe. But I did see this story.
Whoa. Slow down, sir. Slow down. Before we just coast on to this story, you watched The Bachelor?
Used to watch a lot of The Bachelor. Wife would watch it. I would watch it. You've never watched The Bachelor?
No, not
well,
really.
You didn't have television for a while. As a single guy, you missed out on the ability to have like guaranteed conversation with every girl 18 to 34 that you would ever meet on the planet, because they all watch The Bachelor just about.
So I don't understand why this is I don't get this. And maybe some people who love the show will probably get mad at me, but the notion of one guy who has 30 women publicly, 30 very attractive women publicly fighting over him and his attention, I don't know why that appeals to women so much. I understand there's like love and whatever, but no, it's a game show where they're trying to get the ring at the end and they're all competing with each. I just feel, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm just going to say
Well, they also have the Bachelorette version, which is the woman who usually gets spurned at the end of The Bachelor.
Really boring to me.
Her own show. It's really an entertaining show. I'll just toss it out there.
Look, you're not alone, because there are tens of millions of people who love it. So I'm apparently the weirdo.
It's one of the most popular shows in the country, overwhelmingly watched by women who claim to hate everything about The Bachelor, right? They want a guy to only date them, and then they can't wait. Big theory here, Buck. I don't know if I've said this on the show before. I want you to think about it, because it is a big theory. Women watch reality television so that they can convince themselves that most women are crazier than them, right? Like if you watch reality television, all the Real Housewives shows, The Bachelor, the underlying story is these women are crazier than I am, right? That's what partially draws the attraction, I think, to women. Men watch reality television. Again, these are shows that would skew towards men, primarily for men who are bigger badasses than we are. Right? It's like...
so we want to watch the guy who's like living out in the Klondike, trying to get the gold, make it his own.
Different aspirational television. Just think about it. If you really break them down, it's like guy who is driving an ice road truck, guy who is jumping out of an airplane and has to survive in the Arctic by himself, guys who are trying to find, your point, the gold show that did so well. Men-dominated reality shows are about men watching other men who are bigger, bad, and if you count athletics, like almost every star athlete is a physically superior badass compared to the average guy out there, right? Women watch to see women who are crazier than them. Men watch to see men who are badasses more than them. Just think about it now when you see popular reality shows. That's the way that I would deconstruct them.
I mean, I can co-sign on the guys. The ladies, I don't know. You're on your own on that one.
So Miss Universe is on this weekend. And the new owner, I don't know what this guy's name is, so the key here is The owner of Miss Universe, the pageant, is now a transgender woman. So you have this rich dude who has bought the Miss Universe pageant. Did Trump used to own Miss Universe? What did he, or did he own Miss America? Whatever. So he comes out, I don't know, and makes this huge argument about how women now own women's pageants. Miss
I believe
Universe.
Trump owned Miss USA, which is like a subsidiary of the Miss Universe world, but so the Miss USA competition, different than Miss America. That's what I know about it.
Which one feeds into Miss Universe? Miss USA or Miss America?
Miss USA. No, definitely not.
I think Miss USA won Miss Universe, by the way, this weekend.
Oh, really? Because generally, again, knowing this from some ladies who have partaken in these various events in my day, the Miss USA pageant is more just how beautiful you are. Like physically, there's more of the, it's more of a straight
swimsuit competition, beauty. Like everything.
Yeah, a lot of the swimsuit. Whereas the Miss America pageant is supposed to be a more holistic, are you a great symbol for young women in America thing. I believe, I could be wrong, but I have known women who have been in both, and that is my understanding of them.
So this is one of the wokest things you will ever see. It's so woke that it's actually antediluvian, which is what ends up happening with most woke arguments if you follow them to the logical extension. This dude who now says he's a girl comes out and says this is a great moment for women because a woman, a.k.a. a man who wants to identify as a woman, is now going to own Miss Universe, which somehow empowers women. Listen.
The Miss Universe organization from now on is going to be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women. For all women really around the world to celebrate the power of feminism.
Is it? I mean, this is crazy to me, Buck. But if you've only been a woman for like a year, can you? The gall and audacity of these dudes to walk out on the stage and be like, "I now own Miss Universe. I used to be a dude, but now I'm a woman. So this is an incredibly powerful moment for women." I don't understand this argument.
Shouldn't there be like a learning curve, a kind of phase-in process? Like,
this is my wife's. My wife is so fired up about this, Buck.
Oh, Laura is a very smart person. She's totally correct, because there should be this like, hey, before I'm going to tell other women who have ostensibly lived as women for decades of their lives and in their 20s or 30s, competing in the 20s, I think, competing in this kind of a pageant, before I tell them about how I understand everything and see what they're going through, I think you got to pass like the 5-year mark. You know what I mean? I think, and of course you're still not a woman, but I just think if we're gonna pretend there's some sanity here, which there is not, then you should probably have to do that whole womanhood thing for a few years. Before you're going to lecture.
We were out to dinner last night and we were talking about this story, and I'm not going to do as good of a job talking about it as her, because obviously I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but she's like, it's pretty insulting for a guy who's never walked through a late night, parking garage worried that he might get sexually assaulted, a guy who's never had a period in his life, a guy who has never, ever thought about the possibility of having a baby, for them to suddenly come out and say, oh, I am woman, hear me roar, and this is a huge moment for women's empowerment, when you truly have no idea what being a woman represents. I really don't understand, Buck. And the answer is identity politics. But the fact that true feminists haven't stood up and gone to war with these fake, let's just be honest, they are fake women who are trying to adopt the mantle of womanhood within, a few months of suddenly becoming women for the first time. I don't understand how we haven't had a head-to-head collision here, because if you truly believe in women's empowerment, then men stealing women's power is actually a direct threat to what you stand for as a feminist.
Well, this is where you get to the leftist apparatus searching for what the tip of the spear when it comes to social justice is supposed to be. And right now it is the trans movement. And I keep saying this to people the same way that I know, because I read their stuff and I'm aware of it. The same way that I can tell people that the goal of the anti-police left is not police reform in this country. It is the abolition of police and the abolition of prisons, and they use that terminology, not as much in public now, obviously, but they were using that terminology leading up to, for example, the riots of 2020. The true believers of the trans movement don't think that you are a trans woman. They think that you are a woman indistinguishable from women in all matters of, you are a woman, full stop. There's no difference, right? Which is obviously a leap of logic and science that a lot of people are unwilling to make. But that's the real belief, such that you have even seen occasionally, I think I saw one at Huffington Post, they trot this stuff out there to try it out, that heterosexual men should be attracted to trans women or else they're bigoted.
Yes. You were on the cutting edge of how ridiculous this truly is. But that's where we're headed is if you're a heterosexual man and you don't want to sleep with a trans woman, it is transphobic of you.
Yes, you are transphobic because it's a woman. Why don't you see, this is where it really gets down to the basic biology again. Your unwillingness to, as a heterosexual male, you, me, a lot of our
millions of
listeners,
people out there listening,
right? Millions of people listening. Your unwillingness to find another man who is trans attractive is a rejection of what the trans movement claims it is doing, which is the full transformation of somebody. And look, men can get pregnant, men can get their periods. They don't think that there is a middle ground of people who are transitioning or who are different. It is a fully, you essentially morph into the other gender in its entirety to include pregnancy, to include sexual attraction. Those are lies, but those are the lies that they tell them that they want all of us to believe.
By the way, our staff here, Trump bought Miss Universe in 1996, sold it to WME in 2015. So he had multiple pageants. Anyway, now we've got a transgender pageant owner.
Does it have a bikini? I know Miss America got rid of the bikini, or I should say, pardon me, the swimsuit portion.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just being honest, folks. I think the ratings probably, is it even still televised? I don't know, but the ratings
definitely collapsed. I mean, if they had a spelling bee, I'd watch it. Spelling bee in swimsuit, I think probably an incredible combo because then you could, I mean, I'm just telling you, if they would give me the ability to remake these pageants, I've watched enough of them, I could send the ratings through the roof. I'm just telling you. Humble man that I am.